I want to quickly go across, I request our guests to stay with us. I want to quickly go across to some breaking updates that are coming in. The Modi government has finally announced the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act, also popularly known as the CAA. Those rules have been pending since the passing of the bill that became an act in 2019. Remember, this has been part of the BJP's manifesto, is one of the very integral promises that the BJP has made. And of course, it passed the bill, but the rules were not notified for nearly 5 years. Let me go across to my colleague Payal Mehta, also joining us for more on this. Payal, any more details coming in on the rules?
Well, the notification will come out anytime soon, but the fact of the matter is that all of us were updating and waiting for this announcement to really come. The top government sources have in fact told us that this now stands implemented, which essentially means that the rules have been notified. This is a big announcement, Shivani, coming in as promised by Amit Shah to the country that these rules will be notified ahead of the 2024 elections. MC are setting in as well. He said this on multiple occasions. The government, remember, had taken at least 7 to 8 extensions from the sub-legislative committee of parliament seeking an extension, given the fact that after COVID, the massive vaccination drive was in effect. And that's the reason the government was not able to implement the CAA rules. So the top of the government, the topmost sources of the government now telling us that the CAA rules have been notified. This bill was passed in 2019 in both houses of parliament. In the Lok Sabha as well as in the Rajya Sabha. It was towards the end. It was in the winter session of Parliament in 2019 when these bills were passed. And of course, the BJP has been speaking about the implementation rule, has been speaking of the fact that this is the most needed legislation to actually give justice to people who were persecuted in the neighboring Muslim nations like Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. And there are no other country to go in. So even though there have been naysayers, Shivani, who have said that this is a political move, the government has been saying that where do these people who've been persecuted in these countries really go? There's no other country to go to except, come back to India.
Yeah.
And that's the reason the BJP, the RSS, has put this as part of the manifesto in 2014 and 2019. They have worn these agendas on their sleeve and they made no qualms about the fact that this is going to be notified. So obviously,
Yes.
like Amit Shah said on multiple occasions, and Shantanu Thakur also said on a couple of occasions, and as it was expected, this is being done on the expected line. So the rules have now been notified. We'll have to just wait and see what the contours of this bill is going to be. What are the rules that are going to be, implemented in place? How it's going to impact? What is the way to implement it? And like we were reporting earlier, that what time frame we will give into certain places as well.
Okay.
There is a lot of anticipation, Shivani, in states like Assam as well. Because remember, from the CAA, several northeast states have been exempt. So will Assam also be one of those states? How will they control the situation over there? Because police has been put on standby in Assam over the last 24 hours or so, expecting this to really happen.
Right. Aman Sharma, National Affairs Editor, is also joining us. Aman, of course, a lot has been said about how much water has flown under the bridge since the bill became an act, but the rules were pending for many years. This is happening just ahead of 2024 general elections. Was it very key for the BJP to get this going, despite the fact that many would question how effective a CAA can be now, given that it has a cutoff of 2014?
Well, Shivani, see, this is a massive, I would say, a political move by the Modi government. This was something that the Modi government had promised that it will bring. It was an integral part of its manifesto in 2019. And now all three big promises of the BJP, the Ram Temple in Ayodhya, the abrogation of Article 370 and the CAA law. All three will be implemented. The CAA law is going to get implemented now. Finally, 2019, the parliament had passed it. But, these rules could not be notified for the over 4.5 years now. The law, in a way, went into cold storage in the absence of the rules being notified. This is also a message by India that, look, we are a mother country. We are, the land of the Hindus. We welcome Hindu community, persecuted Hindu community from, our neighbors where they don't feel safe, they can come and India will protect them. This is the big message coming from the Modi government, with now Modi government saying that the rules stand notified, the law stands implemented. Anybody who came to India, one of the persecuted minorities, the categories that the government has specified before 31st December 2014 will now get fast-track citizenship of India. So a major promise, I think, an ideological, political promise of the government has been fulfilled.
Yes, and one of those big ideological promises that the BJP and the Sangh is known for is Uniform Civil Code, and that's the other one that is, a lot of people have their eyes on it. It's in one state it has been implemented. We don't know nationally what happens. But I want to go across to my colleague Arunima, also tracks the Home Ministry very closely. Arunima, anything more you're learning of what the contours could be?
See, we are still waiting for the notification to be made public. The notification has been signed by the highest political authorities. It has got the nod of the country's home minister as well. So we're just expecting the notification to be made public. But what is being indicated to us, and I was speaking to some Pakistani Hindus also who were originally based in Pakistan but subsequently migrated to this country. For them, this is a huge moment. What they are pointing out and what they're all hoping is that documents like Aadhaar, documents like the school admission form. Now, what are we talking about here? You know, these are people who have been in India for some time now. They fled India before 2014, that was the cutoff, and they have been in India for some time now on long-term visa. So they might have applied for Aadhaar, their children might have gone to some kind of a school, or they might have reported to the local FRRO, which is the Foreigners Registration Office, saying that I came to this country. For example, if you're coming from Pakistan, you go and tell the FRRO within 1 month of you coming to this country that I cannot go back to Pakistan because I fear persecution there. So that report that you gave initially, that could be accepted as well. So those are likely to be the broad contours of what the application's SOP will be, what the supporting documents will be like, under what category you can apply for citizenship under these new rules.
Okay. I request all of you to stay with us. We are expecting those rules or that notification to come out in a bit, and we will come back to you. I want to quickly go across to our guests also who are joining us. Remember, both the Congress and the TMC represented here on the panel have vehemently opposed the CAA. They've called it a communal bill. RP Singh, I want to come to you first, though, a little bit away from what we were scheduled to discuss, but I want your first thoughts on the CAA rules finally being notified. Is it not too late? Because the cutoff was 2014, the rule was supposed to give you a citizenship expedited in 7 years and not 11 years. It's been 10 years since that cutoff.
Shivani, better late than never, but issue is that this was much awaited by the country, and especially from my community, people who are Sikhs in Pakistan, Afghanistan or Bangladesh, specifically in Afghanistan and Pakistan, Sikhs in Pakistan and Afghanistan, the way they are being treated there, and they have no other way and scope than to come to India, their motherland, and that's why it was much awaited, and it would be a great help to all those Sikhs, Hindus or other minorities who want to come to India, and it should be welcome. And we have been much waiting for this, because there are a lot of Afghani Sikhs who recently, almost a year and a half back, came and then they wanted citizenship here. Now
no, but
they have
I
option
think that's
here
exactly
now.
the point I'm making. Those people don't qualify under the cutoff under the CAA.
Shivani, they don't qualify now, but ultimately with that period of 6 years, that period being reduced, they will qualify for that also. But there is a great respite for them. Although they have built up their places here, they are staying here with other families and other family members. They don't want to go back because they know what sort of atrocities have been committed to them way back in Afghanistan.
I'm not disputing that at all. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm just saying either for that relief to come to people who've still been coming to India, and you most notably made the example of what happened recently in Afghanistan after the Taliban government came to power. What happens to those people? They don't get the benefit of an expedited citizenship. Tasir ur Rahman from the TMC is also with us. TMC has vehemently opposed this. They also claim that West Bengal is going to be somehow treated unfairly when the CAA is established and the rules are notified. Tasir, your first response.
You see, Shivani, this is just a gimmick. It's an eyewash. I mean, till when you want to play with the CAA? It's been 10 years, 9 years. You're obstructing your own laws. You don't want to implement it. And how do you want to implement it? I'm very confused. What, RP Singh ji, आप कौन सी qualification की बात कर रहे हैं? वो आप हमें समझाएं. If it's going to come after 6 years also, we want to understand what kind of qualification. The fact that BJP is using a 2019 issue as the poll plan, even in 2024, it started in 2019. हम करने वाले, it started with 2024, proves that this is an eyewash. After following out the policy for nearly 5 years. I mean, it's been 5 years, RP Singh ji. What formulation do you want? What kind of formula do you want to bring out? And for which people? आप segregate करते करते तो आपको 10 साल लग गया. Now, how much time do you want? And what kind of segregation? You have to be very clear. We are going to amend CAA. Fine, do it. Democracy, preamble, constitution, law. We can't abide that. But what kind of preamble? What is the segregation? What is the outcome?
So, of
How
course,
are we
we'll have
going
to wait
manage
for those
people?
rules
No.
that are now going to be notified.
much-
But Tasif,
how much,
I want to
Shivani?
understand, are you saying this is an eyewash because this is happening now ahead of next general elections? Or do you principally oppose the CAA still? Or have you come around? Have you finally accepted that there were people who came from these three countries, Islamic theocratic countries neighboring India, some of them
Shivani.
carved out of India, and those people deserved a haven in India? What is your principal
Who
stand?
came? Whoever came in India, they were kicked out. First of all, and
No,
you
they
know
were
the
not
fact.
kicked
The
out. What are you
CAA,
talking?
they were
There are
kicked
so
out.
many refugees
They
in
were
India.
kicked out. It was not. Of course, this is what I'm saying. But who really came under the CAA Act and they wanted to get help from the PRO office, they were not being helped. They pushed out. They were being kicked out. किसी को मदद नहीं मिली. CAA implementation
Okay, I want